I'm interviewing Robert, and what's your last name, Robert?
Cohen, C-O-H-E-N.
Robert, I was just telling you about I would like to interview and show young kids. And how old are you, Robert?
I'm going to be 70 years old in October.
Can you repeat the story that you told me? Because I think a lot of times people who come to Home Depot and they see an older gentleman, they says, man, he's going to be 70 years old. Why is he still working in Lowe's? Can you tell me a little about yourself and how do you get to work at home at Lowe's at 69 years old? And this is something that you want to do or something that you have to do?
This is something I have to do because the expenses are so high here on Long Island, especially for a homeowner, and Social Security doesn't pay enough for you to be able to pay the bills.
Right.
So you have to supplement your income, and unfortunately the better jobs, a lot of people don't want to hire you when you're an older person, especially with disabilities. So you have to take whatever you can get, unfortunately. This is the lowest paying job I ever had, and I used to work my main job when I was younger. I worked as an engineering officer, U.S. Coast Guard licensed on merchant ships traveling around the world. I did that for 22 years until I had an accident in 1987 in my backyard. I fell 25 feet from a ladder, landed on a big rooting system on a huge tree alongside of me, broke my back 3 places and 5 ribs.
Wow.
I was in a portable back brace for 13 months. And then after that, I went back to the Union Hall when they told me I was all healed up. And the doctor said I was no longer fit for sea duty, so I had to give up my license and give up my union book. And then after that, I went to VESID, and VESID declared me as a disability case. And they said they would be able to retrain me for a new job, and they sent me to Suburban Technical School in Hempstead.
After the 13 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went there for 1 year for advanced electronics technology, graduated with a 100+ average, was hired by Ray Cal Milgo when I was ready to leave the school. And then after that, I worked for them for 15 years as a field engineer in data communications and networking. Then when the financial crunch hit, they wound up laying off field engineers so they could raise the bottom line. I was one of the older ones, so they let me go. And after that, I went and tried all the job fairs, and after 2 years, I had no choice but to take this job here at Lowe's because nobody else would hire me, telling me I was either too overqualified or there was other people that were better qualified.
And how long you been working here, Robert?
I've been working here for 7.5 years now. I do all the heavy downstocking work in the plumbing department, clean the place up at night, put all the returns away, and I help the customers whenever I can. It's definitely not the best job in the world. Make only about a half a dollar an hour for a raise after a whole year of ripping your guts out. The last ship I worked on in 1987, I was on for 200 days. I made $62,000. I work here at Lowe's all year long, and I make $15,000.
Let me ask you something, Robert. Did you save for your pension? Did you get a pension when you left your job after you working 22 years?
No, unfortunately, they told me that my accident was in a backyard. I'd have to wait until I was maybe 75 years old to be able to collect my pension because I didn't have enough time recruiting in the union.
Wow. So now you get the money from disability. You get a check from disability, right?
No, I don't get anything from disability. The only money I get is Social Security, whatever little income I have from savings on the side, and whatever 401k I have from loans that I've been saving up.
So how long you planning to work for, Robert?
Well, I have to keep on working until I'm ready to kick the bucket, I guess, because there's not going to be any other way to pay the bills as long as I'm in New York, unless I sell the house and move elsewhere.
And where you live at? You live in Long Island?
Yep, I live in Long Island where the taxes are $14,000 a year, and I don't live in a mansion either.
Right.
I can't get any discount even though I'm a senior citizen because in New York, you have to make less than $38,500 in order to be able to get a senior citizen discount. And with that kind of money, you couldn't possibly survive on your own home.
So are you almost finished paying for your house?
The house is actually paid for because I bought the house when I was still sailing at sea and I was making very good money at that time.
So that makes a big difference that you're able to still afford those high taxes.
Yeah, I could never in a million years ever afford to stay here on Long Island if I had a mortgage because I wouldn't have enough money coming in. I just barely make it right now.
Is your wife working?
No, my wife is severely handicapped. She's got worse handicaps than I do. She's got a tremendous amount of shaking in her hands and her arms. very severe speech impediment. So there's nothing that she could actually do that she could hold down a job for.
Wow. So what would you tell young people, Robert, that thinking they have so much time? Should they invest? Should they save more money in a 401k? What kind of advice that you give young people that's looking at this video?
I would do a lot of reading on materials and take various courses that might be available to them. Learn good trades, things that are always going to be needed, like electronics or electrician or plumbing, things that pay very good money and are always going to be in demand for you to do. And that would be the best thing to do, and stop playing with your telephones all the time and start talking to people back and forth in English conversations, because that's a lot more important than playing with the telephones and playing games.
Right, right. Well, Robert, I really appreciate you taking this interview. I told you my company is Straight Talk Consulting, and we actually go and talk to different young people about their future, and I really appreciate you taking out the time to explain the things that I think a lot of times people look at people at Home Depot or Lowe's or working in Walmart, and they just say, man, this guy, he should be home chilling, but a lot of times people have to do what they have to do to make ends meet. So it just kind of keeps it real, and a lot of young people think they have so much time, but they don't, and you just like your accident, anything can happen. It can change your life. So that's why